to propel your career to the next level. Professionals Roundtable, 9 to 2 p.m., exclusively on Empire Broadcasting.
And welcome to Empire Radio. This is the Professionals Roundtable, and I'm your host, Rick Delgado. And welcoming back to the show is a lovely lady based out of Yorktown Heights, New York. She is a certified hand analyst and ACC certified life coach. You can find her at masterandmind.com. That's her website, masterandmind.com. Or you can give her a call, 914-924-3366. How about a nice roundtable welcome for Irina Kravtsov? Irina, welcome back to the show, and thank you for joining us. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you again for spending some time with us. Now, we always have new people checking in. I know we had you on the show previously, but can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself and exactly what to do at Master and Mind?
I do hand analysis and I do life coaching, and my company, which is Master and Mind, is a premier life coaching and scientific hand analysis service. Hand analysis really is a system to decode your DNA at the fingerprint level. It's a diagnostic tool for self-discovery. It can help people in a lot of different aspects in their life. And what it really does, it allows you to create a map of your life. It's not about past, it's not about future. It's really how you wired on the mental, emotional, and physical levels. And it gives you information about your life school, life purpose, and life lesson. And I believe this is the three major key to your life.
Right. Now, when you say something like life school, for those of us that don't know what you're talking about, because that's something I don't think I've ever heard before, can you explain that? What is life school?
School is the life major you need to receive in your life. And like when we compare everybody, I mean, most of the people go to colleges and they choose their major. And they usually graduate in about like 4 years, and sometimes it takes a little bit longer. The difference between life school and regular kind of college, that your life school, you're going to be learning all your life. So I'm not sure you will be able to graduate from that school, but it's a journey.
I would imagine, yes. It's definitely going to be a journey. It's going to take probably a lifetime to actually finish that one. Now, in terms of life lessons, because what you do is so, I want to say, and I'm not saying this in a negative way. It's weird. Let's face it. Most people have never ever had their hand analyzed, and it can't kind of wrap their mind around that you can glean so much information by what's mapped out on their hands.
There is only about 20, maybe 25 people in the United States who is really doing scientific hand analysis.
Right, and you're saying by the way you do it, the hand analysis, you can map out how their life is, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, their purpose, all that stuff, right?
Yes. So I'll give a little bit more information about schools, because there is 4 different schools, okay, and each person would belong at least to one school. In some cases, it might be a combination of 2 different schools. In a very rare case scenario, it might be 3 schools. So the schools is a school of love, is a school of wisdom, is a school of peace, and it's a school of service. And service.
Oh, service. Okay.
So school of love, school of wisdom, school of peace, and school of service. All those schools are very, very different and unique. And for example, a school of love, it's very emotional people. It's all about emotions. And what really is, they need to master the emotions. And when I'm looking at the fingerprints, I'm looking at the same at the hand. I'm looking at the lines and everything else on the hand, and I see how well they support each other. So, for example, if you have a lot of support on your hand that's going to support your school of love, it means you're going to be pretty much determined to achieve what you need to do in life, because you're going to have enough tools in your personal life to become more open, to have like all your emotions kind of open up to really be able to express what you feel and to say what you feel. And it's going to really help you up in your life journey. But unfortunately, in a lot of cases, there's a lot of conflicts. And for example, if person who in School of Love is very closed up person, it's going to be extremely difficult for that person to achieve their life purpose. So now you can see that School of Life, which is in this particular case, for example, School of Love, and a life purpose extremely connected.
Right.
And then when you're looking at the life lesson, it becomes even more connected because the life lessons is a weak spot in the DNA, in the emotional system. So you would know exactly how the person would be able to handle a particular situation in life. Because on one part, it's going to be School of Life. It's like a core of the personality. It's all about, in this case, about emotions, how to handle your emotions. It's about relationship as well, because emotions is relationship, and it's relationship with yourself, and it's relationship with other people. So when there is not going to be a lot of support, it's going to create a lot of issues in personal life, as well as relationship with other people.
Right.
And this gives you a lot of information how actually to be able to tune and make changes, the way you perceive things, the way you think, the way you act, so you would be able kind of to improve. And your School of Lessons might go up a little bit, then your School of Life gonna open up and life purpose gonna blossom.
Right, and that's part of what you do as a life coach as well.
Yes.
That you take this information and then you incorporate it so people know, okay, so this is what I have to work on. Because
yes.
Sometimes we don't realize, what we're doing to limit ourselves.
Exactly. Every person has a particular limitations they might be aware and they might not be aware of. Mm-hmm. And sometimes we concentrate on things that not necessarily becomes a major key in our life. Like, for example, if I'm going to go to the School of Wisdom, it's a potential for a person to be super smart, super talented, and very wise person. And the lacking key to the personality is that this person is going to be procrastinating most of their life. Really? So, yes, unfortunately. So if they're not going to work on the procrastination, it's going to be very difficult for them to achieve what they need to achieve in their life. They love to learn. They're going to be almost like, I wouldn't say straight A students, but these people who try to perfect in studying, they never think they're good enough because they might not know something there and here. And it means they might not necessarily act on their knowledge. And this is really weak spot within their DNA system. So if they want to overcome the challenges, I would definitely explain and show and be able to help out how not to procrastinate, especially in the particular areas in their life.
Yeah, and you would think that somebody who, like you said, has a lot of wisdom, one of those things would be not to procrastinate, but I guess that's one of the major blocks.
Exactly. And now imagine if a person would have two schools, wisdom and love. Then this person going to procrastinate in relationship as well, right? It's not going to be just about their life and performing and actually doing the life purpose. It's much more. It's going to affect different levels in their lifestyle, in their life, and limiting their potentials, really.
That's interesting because that's stuff that you never really think about.
Exactly.
So you're able to discern all this stuff simply by reading their hand.
Yes, by looking at the fingerprints, because School of Life, life lesson, and life purpose is all within your fingerprints.
Right. Now, what about the service?
Service, yes, definitely. Service is very interesting. It's usually people who are born to help other people and support other people. What they're lacking is really helping themselves. So they concentrate mainly on other people and not necessarily how to become the person in power who can help other people in a different way.
Right. It's almost like that person that gives out advice,
yes.
and never actually takes their own advice.
Yep, exactly. So there's a lot of challenges within School of Service, especially because they're really amazing people and want to help everybody in the world. Mm-hmm. but they not necessarily know the rules which they need to use to open up their life purpose and live by their school.
Now, what are some of those rules that they need to make sure that they follow?
They need to learn to say no. that I believe one of the biggest challenges in their life. At least almost every person who I've seen in School of Service, it takes at least half of their lifetime to learn to say no.
Right. You know what? I think I'm dealing with one of those people in my life right now. As a matter of fact, you know, I gotta tell you, Irina, I think my girlfriend suffers from that because she always goes out of her way to try and help people, and you know, it leaves me scratching my head. It's like, you know, then she starts to complain. It's like, oh, this person broke me this and this. I'm like, you got to learn to just say no. Just say, you know what, I can't watch your kid today because I got to deal with all my other stuff. Doesn't do it.
It's very difficult for those people to actually open their mouths and to say no. And it takes a long time to change really the way they think.
Because I'll say no. You gotta believe me, Irina. You know what? I don't want to watch your kid. I won't say it as bluntly as that, but you know what? If they want to drop them off, I'm sorry, I won't be able to do that today. You know, I'll make it nice. I'm not going to be a jerk about it. But when I can't do something, I just got to tell them, it's like, look, I just can't do that for you. I apologize, but, you know, believe me, that's not one of my problems. I don't have a problem saying no.
Yes, I mean, service is much bigger, and it's also, when you're looking about service, you need to look about from a point of view, kind of seeing a bridge between two people, and they connected. So you need to be able to walk on that bridge, and bridge needs to be stable on both sides. Otherwise, service not going to be delivered, and person not going to be satisfied, and person who is delivering the service might feel actually being used. So there's a lot about energy. It's about flow. It's about how the service is provided. And usually people in School of Service, they feel they know best how to help other people. And in reality, they don't. Yeah. Because they need to be very clear what the other person is willing to receive. So it's a lot of different rules, kind of. And you need to be very clear, and you need to have your own priority in your own life.
Yeah. And you definitely have to set up those, you know, kind of those parameters and say, you know what, okay, this is what I will do, this is what I need to take care of for myself, because like you just said, you know, you can't help anybody unless you're taking care of yourself first. Again, we're talking to Irina Kravtsov. She is the certified hand analysis expert as well as ACC certified life coach out of Yorktown Heights, New York. Masterandmind.com is the website, 914-924-3366. We got to take a quick break, Irina, but when we come back, I want to open up the phone line, 631-274-5704. If you have a question, feel free and give us a call. And we'll be back with more on Empire Radio right after these words.
Every business needs professionals they can trust. Let it be your lawyer, accountant, electrician, even the company's plumber are all people you can trust. So why are you settling for your printer vendor? They never respond to your questions, and when they do, it's always late. Always seems to take an eternity to get your printing done and ready, but you dealt with it because there really wasn't another alternative. That is until now. Max Image Printers take the worry out of your printing needs. As a hybrid company, both on website and phone, they welcome clients, businesses of all sizes, to call and ask questions to make as many orders as you need, with the confidence of having your work printed, beautiful, and ready in just a few business days. Bring the trust back into your printing. Maximize your printing experience with Maximum Image Printing. Call now at 801-977-8330. Email keith@maximage.net. Visit the website, maximage.net. Max Image Printing. Quality service. Guaranteed. If you're not happy, you don't pay.
It's Quick Sale Realty, the realty company that has a winning track record for getting their customers the properties that best suits their personal and business needs. The company that doesn't put the squeeze on your budget. They specialize in the Queens, Brooklyn, Nassau, and Suffolk County areas. To become a winner, choose a winning team. Win a quick sale with Gittins Quick Sale Realty. Go to GittinsQuickSaleRealty.com. GittinsQuickSaleRealty.com. Call 718-454-9000. That's 718-454-9000. Get the quick sale with Gittins Quick Sale Realty.
Empire Broadcasting presents the Professionals Roundtable, 9 to 2 p.m. Hear what's hot in the professional world. Timely topics to propel your career to the next level. Professionals Roundtable, 9 to 2 p.m. exclusively on Empire Broadcasting.
And welcome back to Empire Radio. This is the Professionals Roundtable, and I'm your host, Rick Delgado. And again, we're talking to Irina Kravtsov. She is the certified hand analyst and ACC certified life coach out of Yorktown Heights, New York. Masterandmind.com is the website. Again, masterandmind.com. Or give them a call, 914-924-3366. Again, a nice roundtable welcome for Irina. Irina, thank you again for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
You're very welcome. Now, like I said, if anybody's got a question, 631-257-5704, give us a call. We've been talking to Irina about the basically what she does is hand analysis service. That really is just an impressive tool from the way you've explained it all in terms of, helping people manage themselves, getting over these self-defeating behaviors that we have ingrained in us, or ways to, kind of change things. Like the one thing about the school of wisdom you were explaining, how those people tend to procrastinate, and that's something you would never expect because you figure, okay, they've got some wisdom in their pocket.
Yes.
Obviously, those things get in the way, right, Irina?
Yep. And we didn't touch School of Peace. And that's probably also one of the most interesting schools, because when you say School of Peace, you imagine a person who's like very peaceful, calm, and everything is great. But in reality,
it's not that way.
No, it's actually the person needs to become master of peace. And usually they're not at peace, and they're lacking that emotions, and they feel nothing can actually help them because they feel inside very disturbed. But there is definitely ways to help and to really be able to manage that, because they feel stress is all over the place and it's happening every day. But there is a lot of challenges. I feel it's one of the most difficult school. I would say most challenges in this school. But it's still doable. Yes, it's still doable, and I've seen people who managed it and become super successful and very much at peace.
Yeah, that's amazing. Irina, we got our first caller on the line for you. Caller, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Hi, my name is Samantha, and I'm calling from Unionville, New York.
Hey, Samantha, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Good. What's your question for Irina?
So, I struggle from anxiety often, and I see you incorporate a lot of different techniques in your practice. Can one of them possibly relieve me of my anxiety?
Can you repeat the question? I heard that she has anxieties and...
Yeah, she's got anxieties, and she's looking to, I guess, get some relief from those anxieties.
I know I've been helping a lot of people with this issue, and anxiety definitely very common from a lot of people. And I look definitely at the hands and fingerprints, but anxiety also shows up on one of the fingers, so you can definitely see, and you can tell where the anxiety is coming from. Because really, to cure the anxiety, you need to understand where the roots are. And after you identify the roots, there is a lot of different strategies how to address it. It's curable. It just takes some time. It's usually not overnight. It might take at least a few weeks.
Right.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Irina. I really appreciate it.
All right. Well, Samantha,
Thank you
for your call.
Sure.
And, hopefully that helps. And again, if people have any questions for Irina, 631-257-5704. You can talk to her right now on the air. Irina, now, what are some of the anxieties that, because that's something that, again, that's something that gets developed over time, right?
It depends. It depends what school you're in, right? So in School of Peace, anxiety might be common. It might be almost present in their everyday life.
Right.
In School of Wisdom, it also might accumulate, because when a person procrastinates, it means also a lot of fears, because really anxiety is linked to fears. So for me, really, to understand where the roots are is to understand what kind of fears is underneath.
Right.
And then when I know what those fears are, it's much easier to kind of unwind the issue.
Right. And then now, we already went through the life school, and the 4 different schools within
Yes.
that. How about life purpose? Because that seems to be a big one. That kind of says it all. It's like everybody wants to know what's my life purpose? What am I doing here?
I think,
What
yes,
should I be doing?
is the most fascinating information you can probably find for yourself, because life purpose is really the guiding principle behind the events in your life.
Right.
It's kind of a voice from within. It really comes from your soul, right?
Mm-hmm.
It needs to be awakened and continuously sending us messages in different shapes and form, and sometimes people trying to ignore it.
Right.
And then we choose our path in totally different area, doing totally boring things, and then we're not happy, and then actually anxiety is going to come up as well. And we're not satisfied with our life, and then midlife crisis is going to happen. And then the question is why, right? So it's not really a very good question because it doesn't provide a lot of answers. But the roots are that life purpose is so important in people's lives. So if we're not doing our life purpose, we're not going to feel happy, we're not going to feel right, we're not going to feel healthy. Because it's a lot, right, actually not to do your life purpose. So there's a lot of penalties for that.
And now, how do you define somebody's life purpose?
I'm looking at the fingerprints. So because fingerprints, they're very unique, and they're telling me immediately life school that I went a little bit more into details. In the same way, I look at the fingerprints and able to identify life purpose. And the moment I speak to a person, their life purpose, person like, oh my God, I knew it. And then it only takes awareness to bring that person actions to the next level, because a lot of people, even though they feel it, they're not 100% sure that that's what they're supposed to be doing in life. And for example, artists, right? It's a lot of people I find I deal with a lot of artists.
Right.
And they not necessarily 100% have a very self-esteem, high self-esteem, right? So they always question themselves, should I actually devote my life and paint or dance or be a musician? And Hans shows very clearly, like I would not be able to pinpoint like what kind of artist that person should be, but I know that they have to be performing. They have to be very super creative individuals that needs to really dedicate their life to what they, able to express in different like shapes and forms, things. And then I immediately can see what their life lessons, because for example, he is in school of service, right? Mm-hmm. And the life purpose is being, for example, successful artist. And the life lesson is the family. So when you look at those 3 things together, I know that, for example, if she's not going to provide enough service, structural service to her family and be supported, she's not going to benefit much from her creative mind and being an artist. She actually might be miserable.
Right. Now, let me ask you this. In terms of, okay, say you define somebody's life purpose for them,
mm-hmm.
But they're sitting there staring at it going, you know what, I really can't make any money at this. What are they supposed to do? Because, they say they've got to feed their family, they got to pay their mortgage, they got to do all these things, and yeah, they might be doing something that isn't their life purpose. They don't feel good about it, but it brings them the money that they need.
It's
How
definitely
do you help them rectify that?
Yeah, I think it's a very common question, and I have that question a lot. And I don't think person should really quit their job and make decisions tomorrow. I think it's a slow process, and you need to really be able to understand what your life purpose is. And it might require some additional training, it might require some additional work. So I would definitely suggest continue what you're doing right now and make shifts in your mental emotional system. Start actually going towards your life purpose. And when you feel confident that yes, you can make money, that you can be more stable, that's when the transition should be made. It's not about like quitting it right now and I'm just going to be living my life purpose. You might not necessarily have the right experience, right knowledge to do what you're supposed to be doing in life.
See, and that's important for people to realize that just because, Irina might say, okay, you're supposed to be doing this, or you're supposed to be in this type of, say as an artist. She's not saying, okay, quit everything tomorrow and get to it. It's one of those things where start working towards that goal, maybe on 1 day a week, 2 days a week. Maybe you volunteer somewhere to whatever your life purpose is supposed to be.
Yeah, and actually I have a very interesting example because a few months
definitely.
ago I met a wonderful woman, and she actually never thought she was an artist. So when I was explaining her what I was going through, she was totally shocked and she was like almost crying. And she's like, I always was stopping myself because I was afraid I would never do something beautiful. So she was limiting her potentials. And after our conversation, she started opening up herself more and more and more. And then she was taking some art classes, creative classes, and within about, I would say I think I've seen her about 3, 4, maybe 5 months ago, she opened up now her own business.
Wow.
So she still continue working at the business that she was working in, but she was able to find enough support, enough knowledge within a very short period of time. And she was hugging me, kissing me, and she was like, oh my God, my life is totally changed because now what I do, people admiring. And I have so many clients within a month. And she's like, I can't believe it's happening. So it's really not about quitting and totally making shifts and changing everything overnight. It's more about changing how you think and opening up yourself to all the potential that might be present in your life.
That's right. And again, it helps kind of point you in the right direction because a lot of times people just, like you said, they have this feeling that they should be doing something, but they stop themselves. They have these self-limiting beliefs. And by working with someone like Irina, she can point out that, you know what, you don't have to make this a self-limiting belief. You can take the information that she gives you and use it to your advantage and say, you know what, I'm going to help, use this to live my life's purpose. Again, we've been talking to Irina Kravtsov. 914-924-3366 is her phone number. You can call her direct. She's a certified hand analyst, one of the only people in the country that does this. ACC certified life coach as well out of Yorktown Heights, New York. Masterandmind.com is the website. So again, if you are in the area, feel free and give her a call. She's fascinating information. She's got locations around the area. So make sure you reach out to her at 914-924-3366, and she can hopefully point you in the right direction in terms of figuring out maybe what your life purpose is, right?
Yes, and it's not just for adults; it's for kids as well.
And I think that's something else that people should realize, that, you know what, if you thought about, hey, you know what, I really want to help give my kid a head start, this could help them as well.
Yes, I think it's very important that kids are aware about their potentials and what they leaning towards in their life in the early age, because parents can really support them and grow that, and then their life lessons become actually not their life lessons. They become part of the life purpose.
Exactly. And again, those are very important things to keep in mind. Again, Irina, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much for being here.
You're very welcome. And we'll be back with more on Empire Radio right after these words.
Empire Broadcasting